Your request for in 10 minutes is a bit ambiguous, but it suggests you may be looking for a long exploration of the material. I can provide a detailed breakdown of the sources here, or if you were looking for a media-based summary, I can create a long-form audio overview, a podcast-style discussion that typically lasts around that length. Would you like me to generate that for you? In the meantime, drawing from the source provided, here is a comprehensive look at the 12 American ways of life that are currently transforming European, and specifically British, culture. ####1. Patriotic celebrations. Independence Day, July 4th, has transitioned from an American-only holiday to a lavishly celebrated event in major British cities. Paradoxically, Britons are now seen hanging American flags, hosting BBQs, and even museums in Bath have held exhibitions commemorating.
Welcome to This Explainer, where we're going to unpack a totally fascinating cultural shift that is happening right under our noses. For centuries, Europe, and the UK in particular, really prided itself on deep-rooted traditions, conservative reserve, and this very distinct, refined identity. But today, well, we are witnessing a rapid, almost unbelievable adoption of the American lifestyle. From the actual food on the dinner table to the way people interact with their neighbors, traditional conservatism is quite literally being left behind. And it's being traded in for supersized convenience, unapologetic entertainment, and supreme comfort. Guys, we are looking at a full-blown cultural takeover. Okay, let's dive right into our agenda for This Explainer. Number 1, we're looking at celebrating the 4th of July. Number 2, chasing comfort and big bargains. Number 3, invading language and sweet snacks. Number 4 is supersized sports and flashy parties. And finally, number 5, the ultimate mindset shift. Section 1. Celebrating the 4th of July. The historical irony. Okay, there is a profound, almost hilarious irony to modern Britons enthusiastically celebrating the exact day America escaped British rule. Just look at this anecdote from a completely bewildered British tourist. While attending a local American fair, they actually found themselves dunking a king in a water tank, noting, of course, that HR back home wouldn't be too pleased about that one. And then they actually went ahead and signed a replica of the Declaration of Independence. They were absolutely shocked by the local custom of being offered a morning Bud Light instead of coffee, and the endless happy 4th greetings everywhere they went. It's a phrase that literally doesn't exist in the British vocabulary, yet they found themselves completely captivated by the warmth of it all. And this isn't just some quirky anomaly happening across the pond. Get this, for the 250th anniversary of America leaving the motherland, museums in historic British cities like Bath, which by the way is the second most popular destination for American tourists, are actively holding exhibitions to commemorate the event. Meanwhile, younger locals in the UK are out there throwing spontaneous barbecue and fireworks parties that get so loud and rowdy, the police sometimes actually have to step in and quell them. The British have essentially looked at their own historical defeat and turned it into the absolute perfect excuse to throw a massive party. Let's move on to Section 2, chasing comfort and big bargains, the physical world. So this cultural shift isn't just about fun holidays. It is literally changing the physical environment in Europe. And it starts with the total collapse of that proud, stiff upper lip mentality. For generations, sweating it out in cramped red brick rooms was practically a badge of honor in the UK. But thanks to recent record-breaking heat waves, air conditioning is booming. Just take a look at Sally Lunn's famous tea room in Bath. It's this gorgeous, historic 17th century building that used to rely solely on opening windows or maybe plugging in a few electric fans. Today, they proudly display air-conditioned signs on all floors. The traditional architectural beauty is increasingly getting modified with heavy AC units. Because, let's face it, the craving for modern comfort has absolutely overridden centuries of tradition. Consider the sheer humor in this transition. Here we have a quote from a British tourist visiting America wearing a full sweatsuit in 31 degrees Celsius weather, complaining that the aggressive American AC is freezing them right to their bones. But here's the catch. Upon returning to their sweltering homes in Europe, these exact same tourists fall into a state of depression. They realize they desperately, intensely crave that exact same biting cold American air conditioning they were just complaining about. Now, comfort isn't the only American import altering the physical landscape. Consumerism is getting a major upgrade too. Contrast the old stereotype of Britons waiting patiently in silent, orderly queues with the brand new reality of Black Week. Before Amazon came along and completely reshaped buying habits, Black Friday sounded like a total economic disaster to your average Brit. Today, Traditional elegance is cast entirely aside at designer outlets like Fred Perry and Givenchy. Locals are scrambling, queuing up from midnight and staying awake all night to grab discounted TVs and endless piles of packages, fully embracing this highly sophisticated American consumer trap. Moving right along to Section 3, Invading Language and Sweet Snacks, Pop Culture and Palates. Let's see how American soft power is fundamentally reshaping everyday communication. The standard, crisp Royal English accent is rapidly yielding to a massive tidal wave of American media. I mean, at King's Cross Station, signs that once reliably said loo or toilets have literally been swapped out to say restroom just to appease American tourists. But it goes way deeper than signage. British kids are developing genuine American accents from hours glued to YouTube and TikTok. Adults now casually call a TV series a season, and many even hesitate to use the word football, opting for soccer just to avoid any confusion. The entire language itself is shifting right beneath their feet. And hey, once the language was conquered, European taste buds were quick to follow. Elegant, traditional British biscuits like digestives have been totally relegated to the dusty back shelves. In their place is a massive Black Prince Oreo craze, featuring everything from mint to Reese's flavors. And it's not just the snack aisle. The traditional British lunch of a light sandwich with paper-thin slices of meat is being overtaken by the raw allure of fat, sugar, and scale. McDonald's even rushed to release the Philly cheese stack over there to capitalize on the massive trend of Philadelphia-style cheesesteaks that's currently sweeping the UK. This pop culture invasion extends straight through the radio waves too. Country music, which historically was heavily mocked by the British as just cheesy, rustic music for American farmers, is now a massive, undeniable hit in the UK. Ella Langley has comfortably hit the top 3 on the UK music charts. Football superstar Harry Kane is being spotted out at Nashville-style concerts. Walk into a traditional London pub today, and instead of local indie pop rock, you are highly likely to hear Luke Combs blasting from the speakers while you're surrounded by patrons wearing cowboy hats and leather boots. It has thoroughly and completely upended European musical pretentiousness. Section 4. Supersized sports and flashy parties. Supersized entertainment. This brings us right into how the deep desire for American-style scale, generosity, and highly extroverted entertainment is taking over. Think about the 1.33 billion chicken wings sold on Super Bowl day in the US. To put that into perspective, that exact type of tailgating culture is now a heavily coveted tradition in England. Tens of thousands of spectators are packing into Wembley Stadium, not just for soccer, but to watch NFL and NBA games. The British are absolutely falling in love with American tailgating culture because the dramatic pace, the over-the-top halftime shows, and the sheer entertainment value offer a very tempting alternative to sitting through a tedious 90-minute football match that might just end in a 0-0 draw. And this brilliantly illustrates how the depth of this desire for American convenience goes right down into the actual plumbing. The historic British paradox of having 2 separate taps, one that scaldingly burns your skin and another that instantly freezes your fingers, is finally collapsing. Britons are out there literally drilling through historic stone walls and accepting the absolute nightmare of upgrading 17th century pipes just so they can install modern, IKEA, American-style mixer faucets. They are simply tired of the unreasonable suffering, proving once and for all that modern convenience is triumphing over steadfast European tradition. When they step out of those newly renovated homes, the way they celebrate life milestones has changed too. Historically, the British were known for their shyness and traditional discretion, but today, it is all about extravagant, loud displays. They're throwing elaborate gender reveals complete with pink or blue fireworks, creating incredibly strict baby shower registries, and booking flights all the way to Las Vegas just to celebrate a 35th birthday. The British no longer want to celebrate in silence. They want the booming sound systems, the lighting, and the flashy, unapologetic extravagance of the American party scenario. At these parties, and really just in daily life, the American mindset of huge numbers is taking deep root. A medium-sized American meal used to thoroughly discourage a European diner, but now, Europeans are becoming obsessed with that feeling of abundance. They want the giant buffalo wing platters. They're actively demanding free drink refill services at restaurants. They are bulk shopping at Costco, to the point where they are having to upgrade to massive American-style refrigerators just to hold all the food. Europeans are increasingly resentful of their traditional small, expensive food rations and are heavily favoring massive American portions instead. And finally, Section 5, the ultimate mindset shift, the human psyche. So all of these physical and cultural changes culminate in the final and arguably deepest export from the US, the philosophy of human interaction. Returning British tourists are increasingly experiencing a very specific, fascinating type of reverse culture shock. After spending time in America, they come home and suddenly find their own country's service staff inherently rude, indifferent, and just overly reserved. They fiercely miss the radiant, even if somewhat industrial, how are you smiles of American waiters. They actually find themselves preferring the proactive, customer is king tip culture over a traditional London restaurant's characteristic look of cold apprehension. Basically, they want that warm interaction, and they miss it when it's gone. So, what does this all mean? The crucial takeaway is this. We are looking at an incredible cultural reverse colonization. 1,000 years of conservative pride, of the classic stiff upper lip mentality, is actively, voluntarily giving way. The European craving for warm interactions, instant satisfaction, and a radical spirit of entertainment is successfully overriding centuries of tradition. From the language they speak, to the food they eat, and the smiles they expect at the counter, the transatlantic lifestyle is being embraced with unprecedented enthusiasm. Which brings us to our final thought. As this sweeping Americanization reshapes everyday life across the Atlantic, we really have to ask ourselves, does this blend make European culture more diverse, warm, and open? Or are Europeans inadvertently assimilating themselves, turning a rich, incredibly unique heritage into a pale imitation of the United States? It's a profound cultural exchange for sure, and the true cost of it is something to ponder long after this explainer ends. Thanks for joining us.